behalf of DARE RC, which is Data and Research in Education Research Consortium, I would like to welcome you all. And some people are behind the pillar. Sorry, these are pillars between us, sorry. No, here. You can imagine the struggle that we have to, kind of put in to do research. So just wanted to say warm welcome. We truly appreciate there's a bit of situation in the city, but you have all made it to, this event. And this only shows the interest and, in the rigorous and high quality research that we would all like to do, which can inform policy and practice in Pakistan. So I welcome you all on behalf of OPM, which is Oxfam Policy Management, which is leading the consortium, AKU ID, you all know. And then also, there is Site Savers, which is also our consortium partner. And of course, on behalf of, if I take opportunity from FCDO as well, because this research consortium has got generous support from, FCDO. And with this, we have a number of things in agenda. First one is, of course, a very quick, kind of a round of introduction, and then quick words from our, guests on the head table. And then my responsibility as the Deputy Research Director of DARE RC is to walk you through the research agenda that we have. I will not go into the details, but I'll give you quick, themes and sub-themes so that you know exactly when you are digging into the website, you know where to look for and what question are you looking for. And then we have my dear colleague from Grant, he's a Grant lead, Haider Ali Saab. He's going to take you through the whole piece of where the information is on website. And I think Farhad is also going to join in between. And then towards the end, we are going to, take question answers. So that's how we are planning, and we're hoping in the meantime, others will also join us and you. So I think
I'll start with the introductions.
Yeah, sure. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chad. I am Farhad Jalal. I am the comms lead at DARE RC. I'll send the mic to Haider Saab.
Thank you. My name is Haider Ali. I am working as Fund Management Lead in Oxford Policy Management.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Asfar Ansari. I am working as a Policy Engagement Manager at OPM Pakistan.
Hello, good evening. I am Nasir Ali. I work as a Research Manager and I'm based in Aga Khan University Institute for Educational Development, ID. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Anjum Banu Kasmi from Iqra University, Karachi.
This is Rana Hussain from Ziauddin University.
I'm Dr. Kausar Parveen from Department of Sociology, University of Karachi.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Dr. Subir Shahzad, Professor and Chairperson, Department of Sociology, University of Karachi. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Afifa Fatma, and I'm also a faculty member at Department of Sociology, University of Karachi.
Hello. My name is Amir Hussain, and I am a software engineer, and I'm working for our BDSC.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Noor Broi. I'm working as a chairperson, Department of Management Science from Nusrat Bhutto Women University, Sakkar.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rita Siddiqui, working as lecturer at Begum Nusrat Bhutto Women University.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Dr. Nabiha here, working as a lecturer in Human and Rehabilitation Sciences Department from Begum Nusrat Bhutto Women University.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Naveed Ahmad Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum ji. I'm Ali Nadeem Sipra and I'm representing the Citizens Foundation.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Umair Khan. I am a senior lecturer at the Government Elementary College of Education adopted by Doorbeen.
Assalamu alaikum ji, I'm Salma Madalam from Doorbeen.
Assalamu alaikum, Sajid from Aga Khan University, IED.
Vinod Kumar, Third Education Alliance.
Dr. Naeem Zavis University.
Dr. Stephen John from Sindh Madrasatul Islam University.
Assalamu alaikum, Professor Dr. Tariq Rahim Sumro, Rector, Institute of Business Management, Karachi.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Pratap Shivani from Third Education Alliance.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Bharat Kumar Shivani from Thar Education Alliance.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Sayyida Lishba Fatma, Assistant Director from National Commission for Human Development.
Assalamu alaikum. Air Commodore Nizam, a Research Project Manager.
Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Nuzhat Nas from Ziauddin University, College of Education.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Wajahat. I'm working as a research analyst for Deir RC research team.
So, over to the stage, people. There. You have mics. You can turn it on.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you.
I'll jump in. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Martin Dawson. I'm the Deputy Head of Mission at the British Deputy High Commission here in Karachi.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. I'm Fawzia Khan, Chief Executive Advisor, School Education and Literacy Department, Government of Sindh. Thank you.
I'm Fareed Panchwani. I happen to be the Dean at the Institute for Education Development, Aga Khan University.
Okay, sure. So thank you. While you have the mics, why don't we start with few words from Martin? If you can kindly say kind of your welcome remarks to the team, then I can request Dr. Fawzia or Dr. Fareed. Or Dr. Fareed, yes, please. No, it's up to you, as you want. You're sure? Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for the invitation. It's a great pleasure. I was telling Mr. Ansari as I came in to represent the UK's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, who have been funding this very extremely important initiative over the last year or so. I know it's got another couple of years to run. The reason I'm very pleased because the FCDO has a D in it for development, and that's my background. So it's very rare that I get the chance to come and do something for development. So I'm very, very pleased to be here. Thank you to OPM for the invitation, and also the program implementers, but also the other consortium partners here, the Aga Khan University Institute of Education and Site Savers, again for the invitation. And also to welcome Dr. Fawzia. You're probably the most important person here representing the government of Sindh. I know there's still more people on the way, but it's a very distinguished crowd here of researchers and institutions, and it's really good to see you. You're the main people who should be here as well and engaging this. I'm very, very pleased to see that. And thank you for responding to this call for applications. I know that everyone in this room, because of your expertise that you've just introduced yourself, that you're going to be very committed to high quality evidence-based research and its policy intake. So thank you very much for coming. So I've been involved in education and health programs over the last 40 years. I know I don't look quite that old, but if you look closely, I am. And I also thought I wouldn't come in a nice flashy suit today. I thought I'd come and look like a geography teacher. So is that okay? So a bit of humor there. But let me say, yes, I'm very lucky that I've worked in Pakistan before. 14 years ago, I was actually DFID's program manager for all of their health and education programs in Pakistan. And that included the Punjab Education Sector Program, as well as the one in KP as well. We had a little bit less success in programs in Sindh, but I haven't yet given up hope on that. So I've had a big focus on primary education in particular and girls' education. And for those of you who with long memories, at the time I was here, that was when Sir Michael Barber was part of the education task force, along with a lady who's resident in Karachi, Shanaz Wazir Ali, as well. So it's been very nice to see her since I've been back. And throughout my engagement in both the sectors, but particularly in education, the focus was on evidence-based policy making, even at that time. And it's good to see that that's still very much a big focus. And it's a very important issue, and it's good that we provide sufficient financial resources to allow that to happen. Often these things are nice add-ons, but we actually know evidence-based research is vital. We all know that children are the future of our world, and making education crucial for them is vitally important. Their knowledge is what's going to keep our world alive and flourishing. For a modern society, education is of utmost importance. There are so many influences coming from all sorts of directions in this modern world, and education can help us decipher what we should be taking as true and what we should take as a pinch of salt or as a grain of salt. Education molds people into functional members of society and with the right kind of values as well. It is vital that those making decisions on education policy and delivery in Pakistan have a comprehensive body of knowledge that will guide positive change in learning environments throughout the country, that improves access to education and the quality of education for everyone, but especially those that are most marginalized. It's important we focus on those, be that whether it's due to gender, disability, location, ethnicity, religion, or socio-economic status. So it's great to be here today. I'm looking forward to the rest of the afternoon, to seeing the question and answer session and engage in that, but to hear from you, people, the researchers who are quite critical with the work that you're going to do in the future, hopefully with OPM and the consortium partners. So thank you for the invitation. I hope you enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
May I request Dr. Fauzia to say a few words, please? Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saiba. So respected panelists, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of School Education and Literacy Department, I welcome you all to this very, very important session because for me this is, kind of a dream come true session. Madam Rana is here, Naveed Saab is there. So we actually, if you look at to our planning, most of the planning is based on, it's not research-based planning. But I'm glad that now the department and the leadership, they have decided to have, some concrete roadmaps, some concrete finding on which the department can, can actually plan. So I'm so grateful. I'm thankful to OPM colleagues here and of course the Aga Khan University and the consortium who will be taking care of this initiative. There are hundreds of these random topics, and when we try to look at these topics, and when we when we are in the planning phase, there are hundreds of these questions that how we can plan it, what would be a proper not a scientific but a proper framework for this initiative. So I'm really looking forward to the findings and closely working with the firms or the consortium who will be selected for this. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Many thanks, Fauzia. Thank you very much. Dr. Farid, may I request you to say a few words, please?
Thank you very much. Respected panelists, members of the audience, it's really an honor for me to be standing in front of you to say a few words. First of all, I think this is really a powerhouse of educational thought, research and practice that we have in this room. We just had the introductions and you saw from school systems to universities to think tank to schools of education, everybody is represented here. And I think that's a great achievement in the first place by DARE, through your support, that we have been able to bring together, not just here, but across Pakistan, people who can come together and create new hope for education in Pakistan. I think it is significant that this is happening at the same time when the government itself has declared educational emergency. And what a good response this is to this call that we are coming together to make this thing happen. And the results, I'm sure, partly because emergency has been declared, will be taken very seriously. I want to add one more thought about the nature of this project, the DARE project, which I found in many ways to be distinct and different from many other internationally funded projects that we have seen and we have worked with. What do I mean by that? I think there is a constant gripe, in a way, about the direction of thought and who decides whose knowledge counts and who decides what kind of research needs to be done. And often we see a juxtaposition of these authorities and funding that comes together. But fortunately, in this particular project, as far as I have observed, this kind of relationship is not there. Rather, what we have is resources being provided, but the voices, the issues, the challenges, the research problems are actually coming from the ground up. They are coming from the field. And today's gathering is an example of that. But already there are some research projects that have been approved. And these projects deal with environmental education. These projects deal with issues of minorities. These projects deal with the teaching and learning in the classrooms, all very relevant to Pakistan and to particular contexts. And I'm sure more research projects that will come from the field will have the same direction of thought. So I think this is a very interesting new dimension in this project, which hopefully will continue in future fundings as well, because that is really what we require, where the voice and the concerns of the people on the ground are heard, and that guides the research agenda. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you both of you for your support, and me and my team look forward to working with you. I must, however, apologize that I won't be able to stay for long because I have to be at another place, but I wish you a great event today and look forward to working with all of you in the months to come. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fareed. As you just given the background, that this, the most important thing about this project is that, you know, first time in my life in academia, we have now received, you know, funding support only for research, only for creating knowledge, which is policy relevant, which is important for children who are living in the margins for long now. So thank you very much. All three of you appreciated your support. What I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to the research agenda we have, and for that I need my slides on, please. Sure. Yes. Can you play? Yes, thank you. I hope you, I don't know, where do I stand? I can, sure, okay, Doctor, please. You'll be able to see the screen, right? I think we'll sit there because we can't see this. Oh yeah, sure, please, please, please. That would be great, actually. Very strategic. Yes. You can see on the screen has, you know, our punchline, tagline, which says, Jurat-e-Tehqiq mile. This I want to give credit to our program director, Haris Khaliq Saab, who couldn't join us today. But this is where he thought that, you know, this project tagline is all about, you know, tahqiq, research, and our courage to do good, high quality research. Okay, so very briefly on, you know, as Dr. Fareed just mentioned, research agenda is developed through various the themes are practically aligned with federal and provincial governments, you know, policy priorities. And finally, the research agenda aligns very well with FCDO's strategic areas of support for education in Pakistan. So this is kind of background. We started off last year in July, August, and we've taken all this time to develop research agenda, you know, thrash out the themes through various consultations, and finally got this agenda reviewed by internal and external experts, and we are here today to, you know, call is out, and we are looking forward to receiving some, you know, good research proposals. Okay, so what you see on the screen is overarching question, which is there for Dear RC. Just 1 minute. So you can see that it is all about what works to deliver educational access, quality, continuity, and coherence to improve learning outcomes at a scale for all children in Pakistan, especially those the most marginalized. For instance, in terms of gender, disability, location, ethnicity, religion, and socioeconomic status. The project is all about our children who go to the schools which are there for masses, and how do we improve these schools, and particularly, it will focus K to 12 research educational issues. So K to 12 mean from Kachi to higher secondary issues which are concerned about quality education delivery in these three levels. So we will actually be funding research to support generate evidence around those issues. Okay. Sorry, did I? Yes. So there are 4 priority areas, and you can see these one. The first one is about improving drivers of learning for marginalized children in Pakistan, and you can see that on screen. And then second priority area is about looking at the issues which, to strengthen frontline education provision quality through building teacher and school capacity. So it's about building capacities of teachers as well as those who work in schools, including head teachers, etc. Third priority area is all about developing resilient education service delivery, continuity through system coherence. So this is, we know that we're living in times when education and all of us face vulnerability. There's lots of discontinuity of education that has been experienced for past many years. So this particular area, priority area 3, will focus on getting research done on the issues that actually lead to discontinuity of education and what can work to get the system resilient, built in a manner that it can continue education in all times of issues. Then finally, fourth one is about what works to enhance accountability, to improve education system cohesion in Pakistan. We know we can find literature on teaching learning, we can find literature on education leadership, but there's very little on education accountability. So this is this is a priority area which will actually seek research proposal on issues of accountability in education system. And then finally, we have 2 cross-cutting themes. One is about effective data use, and you know that there's lots of work is currently happening, and DARE, FCDO's other arm, DARE, is also supporting lots of work on data management data, and then this particular cross-cutting theme will be about effective data use as well as generation of quality data. Second cross-cutting theme is very important to all of us, particularly those who are sitting in the policy positions, is about scalability of pilot projects, smaller interventions, because it's not when large scale education provision happening, it cannot be done through very small scale intervention, but we need to understand how such important effective interventions can be taken to a scale whereby larger number of marginalized children can benefit from quality education. So these are 4 priority areas, 2 cross-cutting themes. In the research agenda that you will find in the website, we have detail. We have, if you can see on the screen, we have the priority area, then we have sub-themes. So every priority area has further sub-themes, and then there are broad research questions, and then there are indicative sub-questions. So these broad research questions actually tell you, will explain our focus in this priority area. And then there are indicative sub-questions which I have not placed here because I thought that it was kind of too much on the screen. What I have done is that I have only placed the focus of our indicative research questions. So you can imagine from when you go into the detail in the website, you will find indicative sub-questions there so that you can focus, can find out the question that you would like to prefer. So for instance, first one is understanding risks and protective factors affecting marginalized children's access, quality and continuity. So these are broad questions you can see on the screen. I'm not going to read them, but I would like to introduce you to the 3 areas around which we have given indicative sub-questions. One is lived experiences of marginalized children, school level factors for integration of children with special educational needs and disability, and that is the first one. And second one is about parental and community support for continuity of education for all the marginalized groups which I have earlier mentioned. And then of course, education system consideration. Because in this agenda, what is very important is that we are not looking at one factor, but looking at from the classroom level, from community level, but also looking at the system level, factors. So these are 3 areas. If I can take you to the next one, we have priority, within priority area 1, you will find sub-theme 2, which is about improving access to continuity of and quality of education for marginalized children. And if you look at the, let me just show you, these are broad research questions. And then there are indicative sub-question areas where we have indicative sub-questions. These include alternatives to formal schooling, access, continuity, and then representation. So it's about question of representation of marginalized children, including children from religious minority background in the curricula and the material which influence teaching learning processes inside the schools, inside the class, and then provision of targeted financial support. We know that there have been lots of interventions on targeted financial support. There is some research on girls stipend program, but I think this is an opportunity to look at bigger intervention and see how these actually work to improve access to education, and then continuity of education, and then of course improved learning outcomes. So we don't, and since I work in the area of girls education, and I find generally all the data that you research-based insights you find are only about access. There's very little on participation in education, continuity of education, and then very little on how improved access can help improve learning outcomes. So this is where you'll find you can actually propose some research, and very importantly, political economy, factors. So we all know that, doing political economy analysis can help us understand problem at the deeper level. So in this particular, through DRRC, researches which will be undertaken can actually, we will encourage researchers to actually do PE analysis to help us develop better understanding of these, issues. Achha ji. If I go to the next one, which is continued with the, this is about improving access, same, but there are, yes, so I think we're done with this. Yes, so this is about marginalized children with alternative supplementary education program to improve educational experience. So this has focus on inclusive pedagogical approaches. There's also question on agency and empowerment, and then gender responsive pedagogical approaches. So these are, you can see all the areas that we have identified here would actually focus on children who are, groups who are identified as the most marginalized. If I go very quickly, there is a next theme, which is 2.1 on priority area 2, which is what works to strengthen frontline education provision quality through building teachers and school-based staff's capacity. So we have first one, which you can see is the improving teacher effectiveness in a diverse educational context of Pakistan. So teacher effectiveness is an area which is very close to our heart. So this is going to be about, teaching in multi-grade and multilingual classroom. We know that particularly in urban as well as in some rural areas, classrooms are multi-grade. And in terms of pedagogical approaches, how these, research can actually highlight what kind of pedagogical approaches can work in such, such context, particularly looking at effectiveness as well as scalability of these, interventions. And then one is effective teaching strategies. Then we also have on pedagogical strategies in multilingual classroom. We know that we've been teaching English as well as Urdu, as well as Hindi, we say in this particular context, at times to the learners who generally have multilingual background. So any learner in our classrooms, if I speak about Sindh particularly, you'll find, if you do little assessment, you find that a child can speak more than 1 or 2 or 3 languages. So now how do we teach learners, what can help learners who actually don't have one language, but speak and kind of converse in many languages. So this is about how do we help with the classroom instructional strategies which can develop insights around foundational numeracy and literacy particularly in multilingual and multi-grade classrooms. And then of course we have assessment strategies. So this is another area. Priority area 2's next one I just want to share with you is the second theme is about improved teacher quality. Improving teacher workforce quality. It has number of things. You can see the broad research question, and you can also see indicative areas that are kind of focus of our indicative research questions, which are about enablers and hindrances, is a policy enablers and hindrances in implementation of teacher management and professional development policies and teacher recruitment policies. We all know there's been a lot done in Sindh particularly around teacher recruitment and teacher professional development. We know teacher license happened in this very province first time, so we probably need to now understand how these teacher recruitment policies, if changed, if they have any impact on student learning outcomes. So these have to connect the dot, which the final dot is student learning outcomes. So we just would like to see something like a research around this particular focus. And then of course finally, which we have never talked about, is teacher well-being. So if nothing happens in the classroom, if children fail, we all blame teachers. But are there any policies which are about, teacher well-being? Probably there are not many. If there are, if there are, then how are these working? What is happening? How teachers' well-being is affected, particularly because they work in diverse contexts. Okay, so this is one. And then finally, I have 2.3 around this only. On teachers, this priority area 2, it is about leadership. So it's improving quality of education through improving school leadership. And we all know this is so very important. And in this very province, we have had experience with 2017, I guess if I recall correctly, we had management cadre, introduction in the scene. Then we now have head teachers who were actually inducted through this policy intervention. And I think it's high time, if any one of you are interested, to see how these kind of intervention actually help improve learning outcomes eventually. And then if you look at, so there are two areas. One would be looking at, school leadership reforms, the one I spoke about just now, but this is my knowledge. I'm sure you know many other which you can actually pick up. And then adaptive school leadership in response to disruption. I think this is the major test that we have had past many years, including, 2010 floods, and then we had, COVID, and then floods. So we know that, when disruption happens, there are issues, challenges, and then generally we have knee-jerk response. So there is something disruption, and then we quickly say, let's do this. But this particular research area will try to understand how the school leadership is ready, is capable of maintaining education focus and continuity of education in the times of disruption. So this is the final piece which you can look at. And then finally, priority area 3 is about what works to develop resilient education service delivery continuity through education coherence. I think this is very close to our hearts, and we know that this is the most important area that we need to do research. When I was doing some research sometime back, what I found was, there is very little written on system resilience. There was some policy response to COVID. There was some response to development organizations on how to, kind of contribute to continuity of education during the floods. But in terms of research-based insights, we'll find not many. So this area particularly first one is about ensuring teaching learning continuity in the times of disruption. This is one area, and you can see broad research questions there. And then there are 3 further, kind of focus that we have for indicative sub-questions, and that is one is on tracking the continuity of education of learners facing climate risk, disaster risk, and we know that people know in the local communities, they know exactly when is what happening. So in terms of climate disaster, they know exactly, but can we track the learning of children who actually continuity of education if they face the disruption? And then very importantly, and we know, I know some of these intervention, and it's about adaptive teaching. So are our teachers, our workforce ready to do adaptive teaching? I have been a teacher for all my years and have made many mistakes. One was to focus on curriculum that was given to me. Focus on syllabi that I need to finish it because I am accountable to completion of this particular syllabi. But is this happening now? And I'm sure there's so much have changed. So can we look at how, teaching workforce and teaching in the school has adaptive, kind of responsiveness to the changes that are taking place because of, disruptions. And finally, policies and interventions for teaching and learning continuity. So it's not about looking at teachers if they are prepared, if the head teachers are prepared, but also looking at how, policies, intervention, policies and systems, including the resources required for continuity of education are there or not. Because it's good to say learning continuity, education continuity is very important, but we don't know exactly how, even if I have intention, can I be supported through certain kind of resources which are important. So this is what the focus of this research projects can be. And finally, there is a system resilience to climate change. We have some broad research questions, and in indicative sub-questions, there's lots of focus on system. So system resilience can happen. How can that system resilience happen? And then first one is about system responsiveness and successful practices of system resilience. What are some of the practices? Because many of you, I know, sitting here have a very grounded understanding of the issues, and you're very well placed in the local community. So you would, you may want to pick up this as a research question, and also looking at local response strategies. So what happens at the local level of, at the communities level? What happens by the, when schools face this? What do teachers do? What do head teachers do? What do parents and communities do to respond to the disruption and for continuity of learning? And finally, learner engagement for system resilience, which is very, very important. What happens? Do children learn about climate change? Do they know how they prepare themselves for climate change? This is another area that we would be very interested to, kind of have some research. And finally, my clicker, yes. So finally, area 4 is decentralization and governance. You all know that decentralization has been there. We've been discussing back and forth what is happening here, that we know, there are broad research questions. Many of us know, and all of you can speak about it. There's not much done. Implementation of a decentralized system is happening at certain levels, but we have no clarity. So probably a political economy analysis of decentralization reform. Then what are the implementation challenges? Could be one particular area. And then bottom-up accountability. We look at accountability, it's top-down. Are there mechanisms? Are there practices which enforce, reinforce, or promote bottom-up accountability? So these are. And I guess there is one more, yes. 4.2 is, there are broad research questions about coherent school monitoring and accountability system. We have a very good EMIS system now developed in many provinces. And to the extent that we now have, at least in Sindh and other parts, we have, out of school children's non-formal education, the students' data also fed in there. So this particular area will seek interest in research in this particular focus, and you can see the very interesting focus for indicatives of questions. One is incoherence of school monitoring and accountability, coherence or incoherence, and then lessons for accountability models. We know some systems which are now offering, contributing to government's education delivery. They have some accountability systems, so a study of those may help understand what works better. Teacher accountability, domestic tools and frameworks for building accountability systems. We know that if locally developed, these can help understand a better accountability system. I will not take your time on the cross-cutting theme, but the point I want to make is that there are all the research that we would like you to do, and many other researchers who are interested, we'd really like you to focus on research which actually brings in this effective use of data. So there are cross-cutting themes, which is data collection and use, how data is collected and used, assessing data for improved learning outcomes, data and evidence-driven decision making. How does it happen? It's a very important piece in educational reform. As Dr. Fawzia just said when she was sitting there, it's important to see that how data and insights from the data are used to make policy, and then developing data informed and inclusive and comprehensive, adaptation and mitigation strategies to the continuity of education in the times of disruption. This is our major area. And finally, cross-cutting theme is scalable solutions. There are broad research questions which you can see on the screen. I won't spend time reading them, but I can take you directly to the indicative cross-cutting theme in indicative pieces in there. One is on accountability, feasibility in broader Pakistan context. So it's important to understand pilot interventions which look very nice, they work well, but can they be taken up to scale? And then if yes, then what are enablers, maybe policy enablers, practice enablers? Are there any champions who would take, who become instrumental in taking one policy, a small scale intervention to the scale? And then are there strategies to ensure and enhance the cost effectiveness of any pilot intervention which has to be scaled up? So this is for sustainability. So this is all about research agenda, but you will find details when you dig into the website. And I know my colleague Heather Ali will actually take you through the that website, and will show you where you can find different information. I think I know that I've said so much. There may be some questions, but should we keep the questions once Heather Ali Sahab is done, so that we have all the questions together? ठीक है, चलेगा? Thank you very much.
I am here to just introduce you with the web application template and call for document cycle 1, so that you can able to understand, and at the time of applying, no hurdles will be happen. This is our website. Dr. Dilshad as mentioned in our presentation. This is the website. The about tabs are for home, about. This is the consortium partner detail. The other one is Dear RC research. These are the priority areas, work streams. The next tab is for work streams, the capacity building, inclusivity, policy engagement, research grant fund, and the resources, news and events, and contact. At the top of the website, you see the apply for grant button. By pressing this button, you will land on this page, call for application cycle 1. This page is particularly developed to facilitate the applicant. This is an online application template. And please keep in mind that you have to fill this in one way. There is no one go. There is no saving option in this template. Here you find the eligibility criteria. The eligibility criteria of the applicant organization is that the organization should be registered to operate in Pakistan. Consortium are also eligible for funding. Individual persons are not eligible. Prior research experience in education, especially in the theme under the DARE RC research agenda, is prerequisite. Scroll down. These are the grant limits. There are two types of grants: small research grant and large research grants. Small research grants budget bracket is 14 million to 34 million, inclusive of all tax and overhead should be not more than 10%. The DARE RC large research grant budget bracket is 28 million to 80 million. And same here, this is the inclusive of all tax amount.
And these are PKR.
And these are PKR, yes. In PKR currency, yes. These are in PKR. Farhat, please scroll down. Duration. This is the duration of both of the grants. The small grants will cover 6 to 12 months duration. Longer duration up to 15 months can be considered with justification. The large research grant, 12 to 18 months, we are open to 12 to 18 months. We are open to proposal up to 20 months subject to FCDO and OPM agreement. Here you find the 3 tabs. The first one is downloadable document, call for application cycle 1. When you press the button, a PDF document will be opened. आप उसको press करें. This is a comprehensive document covering the research agenda which Dr. Sahiba has presented earlier in Annex A. This is the introduction to DARE RC. Scroll down, please. This is the call for application 1. The DARE RC priority areas are covered in this document. Please stop here. These are the key information as I mentioned you earlier on web page. The small research grant, large research grants, their durations, geographical area. These grants are for the entire country, including 4 provinces and Gilgit-Baltistan and ICT. There is screen is not showing here. This screen. इधर से तो कोई चीज नहीं, इधर दिखेगा, इधर से तो कोई चीज नहीं. I think. Scroll down, please. These are the funding modalities, the small research grants and for large research grants. Scroll down, please. This is the eligibility criteria for research projects. So detailed criteria is covered. These are the, this is the criteria, eligible organizations, what type of organizations are eligible. You can refer it, a collaboration from collaborative Pakistani and international expertise are also welcome. Research institution can only lead 1 proposal per cycle, although they can be part of second application in the same cycle if the proposal is led by another organization. You can see the other details, the legal status, the tax documents, the financial statements, a number of list of compulsory documents are available in the list. We can go now back to the web page. On the second one, the third one. The second tab is for frequently asked questions. There are 39 questions covered in the category of technical and journal. All the research-related questions are available in technical tab, and the remaining are in journal tab. You can see. Please press the button. These are the possible question and their answers are covered in this page. The timeline, content and structure of concept note. A detailed content and structure of concept note is given in our call for application document cycle 1, which you have been seen in the PDF version. The ethical approvals, collaboration and partnerships, evaluation process, full research proposals, conflict of interest, then go back to the page. The third one is the conflict of interest disclosure. If the applicant organization have any conflict of interest with the DARE RCR members, then the applicant organization should mention it in this form and submit it along with their application. This would facilitate the review committee and to avoid the conflict of interest while reviewing your application. Come here. Scroll down. This is the time. The deadline for the submission of application is 12 September 2024, 11:59 PST, Pakistan Standard Time. So they'll come to the applicant. This is the apply for grant template. The detail of this template, how to develop this template, is already given in the PDF call for application cycle 1 document. The format is restricted with character limits. You have to fill it out. All the fields are compulsory. These are the above fields are for applicant information. This is the type of information: public sector organization, private sector organization, NGOs. And if some applicant are not falling in this category, they can choose others and fill it out their legal status. Select your application number. If you are going for first application, you have to select first application. If you are going for second application, select second application. This is the research questions which Dr. Dilshad already told you. Broad question, indicative question. You have to fill the respective questions here. These are the next field is the funding modalities. You drop down funding modalities. The small and research grants. Either you are applying for small grant or large grant. You have to select one option here. This is the concept note. Title of research project, maximum character, 100 character. The next one, linkage to Dear RC, 800 maximum characters. Yeah. And rest is research problems, research objectives. Timeline and budget estimate and references. Two fields are not restricted. The one is references. References of your concept note, of your research. This is not restricted with character limits. And the other one is your question. These two fields are not restricted. The remaining all fields are restricted. When you upload document, when you fill out the application, as I mentioned earlier, that you have to complete this application in one go. Then you upload, press the upload button. Oh, last one, the last one. This interface will appear. This interface, the uploading document shall be consistent with the list provided in call for application cycle 1. There is a comprehensive list provided in under compulsory document in call for application document. You can see there, this includes your registration status to establish that the applicant organization is a Pakistani organization. Your financial statements. In case of public sector organization, you have to provide your audit report issued by the Auditor General of Pakistan or their field offices, respective field offices. So, and the tax, your tax status of tax statements, the two references in case of Dr. Sahaba, public research to reviewers, yes, published research references along with this. The overall limit in this for these documents is 34 MB. You have to limit your document up to 34 MB, and each category is assigned a separate limit. These are the separate 3 affidavit on stamp paper required from the applicant. The applicant is not, these are the just affidavits. Applicant is not bankrupt or currently involved in any litigation related to bankruptcy. All information regarding any past and current litigations. The third one is the applicant is not submitted or debarred or otherwise identified as ineligible by FCDO, OPM, or any other international organization. These are the affidavits which you have to upload. And then the last button is when all these, the concept note template and your upload requirement will be complete, you have to submit it out, apply for grant. After submission of this, keeping in view the current internet issues in the country, we have also given a separate email confirmation at rcdare.org. When you submit your application, you will receive an acknowledgement on the email given in your concept note template. This acknowledgement will forward to the confirmation at rcdare.org along with application number, which you have given in your concept note, name of applicant, title of research, and NTN number, so that we can recognize your document and we can ensure that the application have been received. Because this is to cover the risk that if in case we didn't receive your proposal, the acknowledgement will given us an information that you have applied for this, and we go to the developer and ask them to retrieve the information from the server. A 34 MB additional space is also provided if you feel that you're uploading information, you require further space to submit documents and for support of your project. You have to fill this form, which include name of applicant, email, NTN, select your application number, which you have given in your concept note, and up to 10 additional documents you can upload here and send it to us. So the total space for this concept note and required documents plus additional is 68 MB now. So this is from my end, and if you have any question, please ask.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna take the mic.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Fawzia Shamim from Durbin. I just wanted to ask, you've just talked about the internet connectivity issue. So why is it that there's no save option over here? Because very often the documents can't be uploaded, and this is like the earlier American visa application, which took hours and hours and days to do it. So can we simplify this, please? Well, I was hoping that you would be kinder, because you see, we understand this. You're talking about local context. And since this morning, the way none of us have been able to talk to each other or to anything and suffering, there's no way that I can do it in one sitting and upload all the documents because of the connectivity issues. So please, can you make it into a save and come back later option? Thank you.
Thank you. This is an online web application. We have tried to make it simple, but due to some constraint, we are not able to develop a software which provide us the saving options as well. Farhad, you can please explain it more if they require.
I mean, yes, we had challenges with the developer. Yeah, sorry.
You you can copy paste it. You can develop your document in offline or MS Word and then copy it to the application. Offline, definitely you have to. जी जी जी
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll try and sort this out. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we'll try and sort it out. Yeah. Yep, of course. We're gonna figure it out. Thank you. Thank you.
One thing is also needs some explanation. You are saying that last date is 12th September. Today is 26th. Okay. So that's a very short time for submitting, collecting those documents, especially when we are submitting on behalf of any organization, collecting their NTN numbers and these type of financial documents and stamp paper documents. It takes time. So I don't think this time is enough. It's very short time, 12 September. Second thing, you said that you have to submit if something is left, you can submit afterward in the last document. So NTN number of the organization or the NTM number of the PI.
The second one is NTN number of the organization. And we are of the view that the documents given in this in the list of compulsory documents are those which are normally readily available with the institutions. So we are not saying this to prepare. In some affidavit, you might be taken a few time, but the financial statements, the tax documents, the payment tax evidence, the profile of the organizations. These are the documents. These are the documents already. We are of the view. Yes. These are readily available with the institution. For this purpose, we have updated this compulsory document list. A call was made on 21.
It was Dr. Anjum, 22nd. We had this call out, and I completely agree with you. It sounds like very, very short time. And will you believe me? Friday we had the same event in Islamabad, and Heather have showed me somebody has already submitted a full proposal on email, not complying with all the whole thing, but there was faculty from some university in KP or there, and it was already in. People are ready with proposals, but I agree it will take time. But we hope that what Heather Saab just said, that our assumption is that many documents will be there. So probably looking at academic piece will be important. But of course, your collaborators in the institution will help you do this. And the point is also that remember that we have the concept note, very short window for ourselves to review and get back to you. So we have 2 weeks window where we will get back to you, whether it is going through or not. And then we request you to develop a proposal, which will be probably another 3 or 4 weeks. So since project's lifetime, we want to accomplish, it's kind of a bit of ambitious, but we are hoping that with all of you there, we will be able to kind of, get through some very good research. It sounds very ambitious though, yes. Sorry, Ji.
So I have 2 questions, Dr. Dilshad. One pertains to, again, timeline. After the 12th, what would be the period that DARE RC will take to evaluate the concept notes? एक ये मेरा सवाल है।
नहीं,
दूसरा
सॉरी, सवाल मैं बीच में कैमरामैन के पीछे
no
सवाल घूम
problem,
गया।
मैं दोहरा देती हूँ। मेरा सवाल ये है कि 12 सितंबर के बाद डेयर आरसी कितना टाइम लेगा टू evaluate the concept notes and then inform the shortlisted parties. And दूसरा जो मेरा सवाल है is concept note के stage पे जो आप लोग इतनी documentation मांग रहे हैं, अगर वो partially complete रहते हैं at this stage, would the request is that a party not be disqualified on that basis, and that perhaps they can be asked to fill in those gaps at the next stage if they are shortlisted.
Sure. So thank you, Salma. We have, for the first question, I said we have 2 weeks. So we have 2 weeks to respond to all the concept notes. We lined up people. So we have, and Dr. Fawzia knows this, we have internal reviewers team and we have external reviewers team, and there are people who are lined up they're ready to do the review of the concept notes. So there will be 2 levels of reviews happening. One will be my team and myself and scholars like Dr. Fawzia and many other, I'm just naming it, sorry. There are many who are international, many national, and then there'll be Haider Saab's team, which is going to work through the affidavits. So this is the difficult job. So we'll be, inshallah, God willing, we'll be pulling it together in 2 weeks' time. Because jitni sakhti idhar hai na, so we also have to kind of, roll up our sleeves and, get into doing research. And then, if things work well, then we will have probably 3 to 4 weeks to develop proposal. And uska bhi jo hai, turn around jo tha, bahut jaldi hoga. About the second question, Haider Saab will respond. Mushkil wala sawal ye bataiye.
This procedure takes some time, and we agreed with FCDO. So these compulsory document submission is a key procedure at the time of submitting your application. So I hope and we request you all to please submit it along with the concept note, to avoid any disqualification at the stage of concept note submission. So this is very clear, and there is no any space to accommodate the thing. I think you all have to review the compulsory documents list, and I hope your organization and the administration and finance and legal staff will understand this, and they will respond. There is no any document except the affidavits which are not available. These all documents will be available with you, and I hope so you will submit it at the time of concept note submission. Thank you. Please.
Do we have mic for sir?
Give you the affidavit. So this is going to be good at your end. Yes. I think I made my point that, okay, you are having X number and you are going to deduct numbers. So only few selected who are going for the second round, they should give you the affidavit at the later stage. Meanwhile, they will prepare. I think there's no need to...
the affidavit, the affidavit is only required internally. You have to internally prepare the affidavit on the stamp. You have to, of course, prepare it on the stamp paper and get it signed from the competent authority in your institution. All these documents at the time of concept note is to save time, be keeping in view the project duration, the overall duration.
Also, sir, I think you made very important point. Just want to add to Haider Saab's point that, because even putting together a concept note is lots of work. So we hope that, and we, with positive vibe, we would like to see many qualifying for next round. But I think it's always important that before we go to the next stage, it also saves your time, our energy to have your important papers together, because that qualification is very important. For you going to the next step. So dono taraf se we have to do academic piece as well, and also that other qualification which Haider Saab has just mentioned. And hopefully, inshallah, when you go next, so we have for proposal, we will have lot more work to be done on research proposal itself. So we'll not have to spend time on putting together your tax return, etc., etc. We understand that all of you work in organizations where you have these documents already available. So maybe affidavit thing, as Heather Saab said. But I think next phase will be more intellectually demanding. So that will save energy for all of us in that case. Ji, sawal? Ji.
It's me, Dr. Najmunisa from Zabis Education Department.
Ji.
So I have a comment rather than a question. My comment is, I can see my mentors and my friends from different universities. So, you may include ORIC department from the different universities to submit the proposal and concept notes, because ORIC can support us to arrange all the documents. Individually department has to approach to different departments and the documents like NTN of the organization and the 17 documents which you have mentioned here. So my humble suggestion is, if you, for example, I can see the department heads from different universities, but I cannot see the ORIC people. So if ORIC people will be here, so they can facilitate the departments.
अच्छा, ये मैं हैदर साहब तो रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे, लेकिन डॉक्टर नजूम, थैंक यू वेरी मच डॉक्टर नजूम निसा. द थिंग इज, ये आई थिंक research promotion in a university is a relationship between faculty department and their ORIC department, because for us, education department is the most, or other disciplines, if there is collaboration, is important. So for us, ORIC will provide all the support. So this is how I understand it, because I have to shake my people saying that I need this document to submit, and they support. So they bring in other angle quickly. So I'm not sure whether we should directly be contacted, because this works other ways, in my little understanding. ठीक है, तो you can handle that collaboration, right? We don't have to get into this, right? So I hope that clarifies Dr. Najum sir. हो गया. We try to just. यार ऑरिक से रिश्ता बनाओ, ऑरिक से रिश्ता बनाएं तो आपकी रिसर्च आगे जाएगी. हाँ, पीछे पड़ जाएं. I have love and hate relationship with my finance people and these people and that people, but they have to work for me. They have to support. Otherwise, how do you do research?
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Dilshad. Prem Sagar, Provincial Coordinator, JICA. So my questions regarding the research design and also the target. So one is that we are talking about the drivers or enablers, and second focus is on the quality, and third is on system, and fourth is on accountability. Coherence. So when we talk about, do we have defined the levels like primary, elementary, secondary, or
it's
like
K
that?
to 12. Prem, it is K to 12.
And what about the formal and non-formal sector?
Yes, all. Actually, if you look at education, focus is that, how do we look at education provision, not only in mainstream conventional schooling, but also alternate pathways. So where is, we have non-formal education center where I have worked, I know. So there may be many other ways which have been used, strategies used by the educational providers, which are alternate educational providers. Bilkul, it's completely on.
And the second is that, is it a quantitative or qualitative or mixed method?
Yes, it depends on your focus.
Okay.
And we have given some guidelines on methodology, but these are kind of guidelines people like me who love to get into how to do research wali piece hai, but it entirely up to the research team how they would like to design. If the scope of study suggests only qual, you could do qual, but if it says quant and qual, primary, secondary data, it's up to you, because when we say large scale, short term and long term, that will actually also decide your methodology, So it's entirely about your research focus and the scope of research that you have.
And it can be comparative between the formal and non-formal as well.
Yeah, it's up to you, because what you can do is that what we have done, we took lots of pain to put our research agenda, and then we also not only had broad research questions, Prem, we also put in indicative sub-questions so that you can quickly pick up. You can certainly rephrase these research questions. You can say, I want to understand problem from this angle, but certainly you can actually work around that question. There's lot of material out there in the website. If you go look at the details of the question, indicative questions, you'll find something very readily available. You can pick up and go. ठीक है? जी, sorry sir. हाँ, तो annex, thank you Hazrat Sahab, Prem and everyone. Annex A of this document that Prem Sahab, Hazrat Sahab showed. Also, Annex A is research agenda. Annex B is the research methodology. You may look at it, you may drop it, but the one piece that we all need to understand, that you understand you're doing research, picking up research methodology, which is the most appropriate way to answer the research question that you have asked for yourself. So that is how it is going to happen. But please have a look at those documents. ठीक है? हमने बहुत उस पे काम किया है. We've worked on it. Yes, sorry, ma'am. Go ahead, please.
I don't know whether I got a short nap, but I'm just wondering if there are 3 or 2 universities coming together or groups coming together and writing a proposal, किसके affidavit जमा होंगे? दोनों के?
नहीं, किसकी?
Affidavits किसके जमा होंगे?
Sir.
अच्छा, ये जो लीड जो एप्लीकेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उसके होंगे, एंड यू हैव टू सबमिट द JV, the joint venture between a teaming agreement. You have to prepare a teaming agreement with the parties and share or upload with your concept note template.
So the possibilities of teaming is available,
yes.
Right?
One thing which is very important, Dr. Sajid यहाँ मौजूद है, उनकी मैं presence से कर लेती हूँ. We also have, and Dr. Fawzia is also contributing to, there is another arm of DARE RC is building research capacity. So, I mean, they have already done some work with people who are interested in doing research, and that, hoping that will also be kind of enabling factor. But collaboration also builds research capacity. So I think with senior researchers like yourself, kind of teaming up with the junior researchers, that may, from other organizations, from multidisciplinary angle bhi ho sakta hai, because you may want to do something from sociology department coming together with education departments. It all depends on kind of questions you want to ask.
One more?
Ji, sure.
I was going through the questions, and to some extent, if I could follow the other questions that you gave, but nowhere did I see the use of technology. I mean, is it by default that it's been missed out? Because today, it's all about AI.
If your question says a certain kind of technology bhi chahiye, low tech, when we say alternate forms of education, so it may bring in technology. It really depends on how you want to ask that question.
So that's
bilkul.
And lastly,
yeah, please.
Can anybody do research in Sindhi or Urdu, or it has to be English?
Sindh mein karenge to we need to bring in Sindhi perspective. Zahir reporting and all that, reviewers for concept notes, reviewers are national, international. So for their sake, we need to have this in English.
No, ChatGPT translate kar degi.
Ay, mat puche. Google this is a joke. My student doing translation on Google Translator. मैं आपको बता रही हूँ. See, we have this concept of nuclear family in English. Nuclear family. इसका translation बताइए. Can you tell me the translation? What would be the translation? Exactly. So Google Translation, my student in research, they do ethical review for preparing the consent form. So the word they use was not at me, Johari Khandan. Tali, is it? So imagine, Johari Khandan, ji, sawal.
My question is that, is there any restrictions on geographic restrictions like number of awards for Sindh, KP or any particular province?
I think if I there's no. But we would love to have research done in all 4 provinces as well as in Gilgit-Baltistan. So ICT and ICT, बिल्कुल ICT में बैठे नहीं इनको ज़रूरी है ICT must है ICT Gilgit-Baltistan हाँ इनके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है power house. Exactly.
Kindly let me know about the volume of the research.
Volume mean?
Volume. कितना thickness उसकी कितनी होनी चाहिए? Participants अगर हों तो कितना या कितने
Ma'am, it depends. क्योंकि अगर you are applying for 8 months, you are applying for qual research. If you are applying for quant research, जैसे मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, हमारे कुछ साथियों ने research की अभी. They proposed a research which is already approved. They are testing 5,000 students in different parts of the country. So this is their RC research because the question is such which requires the big number of participants. So if, it really depends. If you want to do secondary data analysis, which may be, examination boards data, etc., you may do it kind of, in shorter time with not many participants. So many times people do secondary data analysis and they do key informant interviews. So it really depends on your design, your methodology that you want to do to respond to the question that you ask yourself.
And
For
PI is independent to make their own team for research.
Yes, of course, because we always do that, no? But of course you will do, and in the concept note, you will also be giving the expertise of your team, and you will have to say, this person will contribute to, for instance, quant piece, this person will be bringing this strength. So that is, everybody included has to be justified from research point of view. But ऐसे होता ना जैसे मोहब्बत में दे दिया तुम मेरे साथ चल जाओ तो वो मेरे साथ वो वाला नहीं होगा. I'm sorry, this is a joke.
Formal. It will be formal.
Yes, yes. So it's kind of saying it loud and clear that this person is going to contribute to this research this way. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes. How many persons or how many organizations can conduct research at a time?
Do we have a kind of consortium? का वो नहीं है ना? We don't have how many organizations.
Limitation. There is restrictions or is any limitation?
नहीं, it depends. अगर लेकिन you unnecessarily तो नहीं करेंगे ना, because that's the more organization you have, the problem you have to get them together and do the. हाँ, so if you want to do too well, जैसे हैदर साहब ने कहा कि if you want to have a lead, किसके paper? Your lead organization. If you are leading research, your lead PI, तो आपके organization will submit all the papers. Others will probably have teaming agreement जो हैदर साहब ने बताया. आपके लिए complex कम होगा if you have fewer organization. ज़्यादा होगा तो भी ज़्यादा. लेकिन depending on expertise needed to do that research, right?
Thank you.
Two quick questions, Dr. Dilshad. One was just wanting to understand the rationale behind limiting submissions to one per institution. Is that a logistical thing that because you also have such tight timelines, you don't want to overburden yourself? So, just for my interest, I'd like to know. Institutions to have research experience in a DARE RC research agenda area. So it feels a bit conflicting to me.
अच्छा,
I'd love to hear
Salma,
more.
बहुत अच्छा सवाल है, but may I respond to the second question? अच्छा, Salma, if you, look at the menu of the research agenda, I think invariably you will find yourselves in not one, but many areas. And I think and if I understood the question, that, there are areas जिसमें I can see that your organization, other organization have already done some work. Research वाला piece जो है, if there are at times there are new organizations do not have research background, so they may want to collaborate with another institution where research activities and experiences lies. Because from a FCDO point of view, I think this is very important question that who do we give money to ensure that within this limited time frame we want to have high quality educational research produced. And मैं आपको बताऊँ, the outputs are not only research report but also is publishable manuscript. So what we are going to do is that we have two aims. One is for local national consumption. We will develop policy briefs, documents in the areas where, like 4 priority areas, we may have 2 policy briefs in each, bringing in synthesis of research outcomes from 3-4 research projects in one area. So that is be engaging the policy makers in making policy. But for global audience, we want to produce high quality educational research. For that, we are saying that one of the output is, producing, every research project will produce publishable manuscript. Uske liye also have some support system. Once research is approved, we will actually be providing that quality assurance support. We have our reviewers team. One of them will be assigned to a research group who will be monitoring as well as providing support when they need. Little bit of hand-holding, but hoping that, these arrangements will allow us to, get to the better output. So वो मेरा ख्याल है कि if you teaming up हो इधर उधर तो probably we can work on this. First one, हाँ जी आप हैदर साहब बोलेंगे इस पे लेकिन
there is no restriction on submission of multiple concept note from an organization, but only one only one concept note will be approved based on quality. You have to submit multiple concept note, but the selection will be based on the most best quality. And the other one, the criteria is mentioned in case of research institution. Research institution can only lead one proposal per cycle, although they can be part of second application in the same cycle if the proposal is led by another organization. जी मैंने उस वक्त कहा है ना कि एप्लीकेशन नंबर आप सिलेक्ट करेंगे 1 2 3 4 5 यू हैव टू सेलेक्ट एप्लीकेशन नंबर्स, तो वो इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट के अंदर है. बट रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशन जो है उसका यहाँ पर जो है वो लिखा हुआ है. आई रिक्वेस्ट कि आप कॉल फॉर एप्लीकेशन डॉक्यूमेंट को डाउनलोड करके गो थ्रू ज़रूर होइएगा, क्योंकि ये शॉर्ट इंटरेक्शन के अंदर तमाम चीज़ों को कवर करना मुश्किल होता है. दूसरी, इफ़ यू हैव एनी क्यूरी please email info@darec.org, rcdare.org, rcdare.org, info@rcdare.org. So you can send us the query and we will respond at earliest.
Ji. Can you put the email on screen? Yeah. So the website is darec.org. The email is info@rcdare.org. That's. I mean, even the RCDare also works. I mean, if you go to rcdare.org, you'll see the website.
Here.
I mean, both domains are with us.
नहीं ये तो वो वेबसाइट है.
The first one is the link which is available on our main page of the website. That will apply button that will lead to this apply for grant link, and the page will be open.
Yeah.
And the second email.
ऊपर कर लीजिए जरा.
The second email for queries info@rcdare.org. Both of the emails are given in call for application cycle 1 document, which can be downloaded on our website.
Yeah.
And these are given in FAQs as well.
Yep.
Please write to us very quickly because there is not much time as you.
The closing.
Closing
Yeah,
exactly.
please. Sorry.
People have to go back and write. So I hope if there are any questions, we can have last few questions. Otherwise, we can bring it to close. I truly appreciate. Sir, Ali, आपका सवाल है? जी, Ali को mic दीजिएगा, please.
I wasn't sure if I should ask this. Just wanted to understand from a practitioner's perspective, is there a focus on problem articulation or solutions? The reason why I'm asking about this is also the timeline and the duration of the study. When I think of problem articulation and I think something like the gender responsive pedagogies, I think we really need to understand why boys are struggling and consistently performing poorer in every learning assessment. And if that is the subject of research, I think that would be fantastic. When we focus on solutions, usually there's a design component, you need to get them to a process of implementation fidelity. When it's being implemented with a certain fidelity, then you subject it to rigorous study. So really wanted to understand how you see that kind of fitting into the narrative, and particularly the timeline, which is
Ali,
a little stringent.
you hit on the nail. We've been saying this, there's not enough time, but we understand that there is always project timeline, lifetime. But for this is good thing is that we've been asked by our colleague in FCDO that we can actually, we thought earlier that 15 months would be the maximum. Now they say no, we were advised that we can actually go up to 18 and 20 months. That's max. We understand that RCT kind of studies will not be kind of possible most of the time, but there may be ways where you kind of practitioner oriented, and that is exactly what it is. So we can have focus of study depending on how well you communicated the design. And the focus is one of the problems that have been identified. I'm sure you can design something very, nicely fitting in within even 18 months, 15 to 18 months would be good too.
Great, thank you, Dr. Dilshad. Just one more question, and this is just out of curiosity.
Yeah, please.
So we do want to close the loop. I think anything we produce collectively is going to be a public good, which will hopefully feed into public policy, inshallah. What I want to understand is, and I think there's a lot of thought that's gone into selecting the research agenda. Was there a lot of engagement with public policy stakeholders to understand what is really painful for them right now?
Yes.
And flip side, how is this DARE RC consortium going to build receptiveness at their end to act on and respond to whatever research
this is such an important question, and I think I'm glad that you asked this. Farhad, you want to say something on this, or may I say?
I mean, you can speak about drag.
Yeah. So we started off with the kind of engagement with policymakers from all 4 provinces, as well as from GB, and then we continued building on what we had, that not only this particular engagement that we had in Sindh, but we in Islamabad, we also, the DARE RC teams, they visited all 4 provinces at different times and brought together the wisdom and the desire on the areas and problems they identified, and plugged that into research agenda. So that has been the case. The idea is exactly, and then there is a policy engagement thread which Asfar Saab works. So in policy engagement, the idea is that whatever research we do, it does not go sit as my PhD thesis in University of Toronto's Oasis, library, and nobody must have looked at it, but I'm sure I've presented it in Pakistan anyway. So, it's going to be directly go on the tables of our policymakers across Pakistan. So we also, with Pakistan Institute of Education, we already have had, understanding, and we're supporting, SCDO is supporting, and we part of research. There's a RAG research. What is that, Farhad?
Research Agenda Group.
Research Advisory Group. So that is kind of where we are contributing. So there's lots of work happening, and we're hoping that this all goes with lots of value to the policy engagement. That's the whole idea. Implementable policy, relevant research. So that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope I responded to your question. Thank you. I think, yeah, sure.
PhD and then go into policy making. Could this research be like the research that you fund? Could it be somebody's PhD and then that goes into policy design? Like, could you be funding PhD researchers for individual people?
This is not the part of plan, but God knows if you part of research where your supervisor is, kind of part of the research, and you are as a RA, TA, RA working with that professor, this may give you an edge to kind of really have another leg of that research as your PhD research. Get ideas, get it, methodology all thrashed out. You may want to take it to different level. So that can be possible. Seed may be sown through this research, this project, right? No. I think it's no commitment to fund PhD. As Ma'am Rana said, that वो बहुत time limitation है. PhD research takes ages. So we don't have that commitment. But I'm saying that in other design, you can be part of research where you can pick up then as a research area for your own PhD thing, or maybe one part of your. It really depends on how you design, your team has designed it. Okay? I think with this, thank you very much, everyone.
Well, I have a last comment.
Yes,
you can follow us on all social media, and we'll update you with all the news and updates. And through our website, you can get our news and updates. Thank you very
much. So thank you very much, everyone. From DARE RC's plan, we're signing it off, but we are looking forward to with this engagement. This is only intro to DARE RC research. We are hoping that we'll receive your concept notes, lots of interesting ideas there. So thank you very much. Please do contact us as soon as you have some questions. do look at the research problem. Deadline is September 12th. That is it. So please, there's no extension. Huh? 11th September was done. So thank you very much, everyone. We truly appreciate your time, interest. Info?
At rcday.org.
Info at rcdare.org.